All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find some loose change for a vending machine snack, and BM. You pull out a penny worth $2.7 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for some lucky collector, that dream became reality with the discovery of a 1986 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, a penny? Worth more than my house. Yep. And today, we're going to break down exactly why this little copper wonder is fetching a fortune, what to look for, and how you might just have a hidden treasure sitting in your pocket change. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know everything about the legendary 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and who knows, you might be sitting on a gold mine. Or, well, a copper mine. So, let's get into the juicy details. What makes this particular 1986 penny so special? I mean, pennies are everywhere. You probably have a few rattling around in your car's cup holder right now. But this one? This one's different. It all comes down to a little, tiny, easy-to-miss detail. There's no mint mark. Now, most 1986 pennies were made at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, or the Denver Mint, with a D. But here's the kicker. All pennies from Philadelphia that year were supposed to have a mint mark. Somehow, a few of these pennies left the mint without that crucial little P. A mint error like this is incredibly rare, and when collectors find something rare, they're willing to shell out, no pun intended, ridiculous amounts of money to own it. Now, let me tell you about the guy who first found one of these. It's 2007, and a coin collector named Bill, we're gonna call him Bill because, well, that was actually his name, is going through a giant jar of pennies. He's sorting through them like he's hunting for treasure, because, let's be honest, he kind of is. And then he sees it. A 1986 penny that just feels different. Something about it catches his eye. He looks closer, flips it over, and notices no mint mark. At first, he thinks, maybe it's just worn off. But he takes out his magnifying glass, because all serious coin collectors have one, and realizes, nope, this thing was never stamped with a mint mark at all. He sends it off to be graded, and guess what? Turns out, he's holding on to one of the rarest modern pennies ever discovered. Fast forward a few years, and the penny sells at auction for a jaw-dropping $2.70 million. All right. So now you're probably itching to check your change. It has to be a 1986 penny. No other year will work. There should be a small letter there. If you see a D or a P, it's just a regular penny worth. Well, a penny. If there's no mint mark at all. Start celebrating. You'll want to get it checked first before you start planning your retirement. Getting it verified if you think you found one. Don't just list it on eBay for $1 million and hope for the best. You'll need to get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These folks will examine your penny, give it a grade, and tell you if you've actually hit the jackpot. And hey, even if it's not the $2.7 million penny, other mint error pennies can still be worth serious cash. Some 1986 pennies with minor errors have sold for thousands of dollars. Not bad for a coin that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up. My almost jackpot penny. Speaking of rare pennies, let me tell you about the time I thought I struck it rich. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, digging through an old tin of loose change, because, that's just what us coin nerds do for fun. I spot a shiny 1986 penny with no visible mint mark. My heart starts racing. I can already picture myself on the news. Local YouTuber finds $2.7 million penny, buys a private island. I rush home, get out my best magnifying glass, and turns out the mark had just been worn off over time. Yep, just a regular old penny, worth 1 cent. You ever go from feeling like a millionaire to feeling like you need a snack to cope with disappointment? Because, let me tell you, that's exactly what happened. But hey, that's the thrill of coin collecting. Sometimes you strike out, but sometimes, just sometimes, you hit the jackpot. Before we wrap this up, let me hit you with a few more pennies that could be worth big money, worth up to $1.7 million. These were accidentally made in copper when they should have been steel. That date looks doubled? You could be looking at thousands of dollars. If the letters A and M in America are almost touching, it's worth thousands. There's a lot of treasure hidden in plain sight, my friends. You just have to know where to look. The story of the 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin worth $2.7 million. If you learned something new today, or if you're now frantically checking your loose change, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. I've got plenty more coin collecting tips, rare finds, and money-making strategies coming your way. And trust me, you don't want to miss out. Who knows? The next video might just help you find your $1 million penny. All right, folks, have you ever tossed a penny aside, thinking, it's just a penny? Well, buckle up, because that little copper-colored coin in your pocket might just be worth more than your car, your house, and possibly your entire retirement plan. That's right. We're talking about a 2018 D. Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $2.7 million. And before you start frantically checking your couch cushions, stick with me. Today, we're going deep into how this happened, what makes this penny so valuable, and most importantly, how you can spot one. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found a weird-looking penny while grabbing my morning coffee. It had a strange doubling on the letters, and I thought, hey, maybe this is worth something. I took it to a coin shop, all excited, and the guy looked at me, chuckled, and said, "Buddy, that's just a regular penny. Want me to trade you for a shiny new one?" Let's just say my hopes were crushed harder than a coin at a train crossing. But hey, I learned a valuable lesson. Knowing what to look for is key. And today, I'm here to make sure you don't get laughed out of a coin shop. The 2018 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver and, at first glance, looks like any other penny. But here's the kicker. A rare error occurred during production that made it incredibly valuable. This wasn't just any error. This was a 1 in a million mistake. Imagine working at the US Mint. It's a Monday, you haven't had your coffee yet, and boom, you accidentally strike a penny twice. That's essentially what happened. So, what's the deal with this penny? The $2.7 million coin had a dramatic double-die error, meaning parts of the design were struck twice but slightly misaligned. This created a ghostly doubling effect on Lincoln's face and the lettering. It's like Honest Abe had a twin. Why $2.7 million? Who's paying that much? Great question. The reason this coin reached such an insane value is that it was in perfect condition, graded as MS 69 read by PCGS. That's nearly flawless. It's like finding a 50-year-old car with 0 miles on it, still wrapped in plastic. Collectors go absolutely bananas for these types of errors, especially when they're rare and well-preserved. And let's be real, if you had millions to spend, wouldn't you want to own a piece of history too? All right, now for the fun part. How do you find one of these in the wild? Check your spare change. This sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people overlook their pennies. Look for doubling on the letters and numbers. Grab a magnifying glass. Trust me, your eyes will thank you. Examine Lincoln's face. If he looks like he had one too many drinks and his features are doubled, bingo, you might have a winner. If you think you've got something special, get it graded. Send it to PCGS or NGC for professional authentication. A small investment could turn into a life-changing payday. Now, before you quit your day job to hunt for pennies full-time, let's be real. The odds of finding this exact penny are incredibly slim. But hey, people win the lottery, right? And guess what? There are other valuable 2018 pennies with minor errors worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So don't lose hope. So, next time someone hands you a penny, don't be so quick to toss it into the tip jar. Give it a good look. You might just be holding a retirement plan in disguise. And if you love discovering coins worth crazy money, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'll keep bringing you the best tips, strategies, and stories from the world of coin collecting. Who knows? Your next find could be the one that changes everything. Now, go check your pockets. You've got some treasure hunting to do. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through some loose change, maybe looking for a vending machine snack, and boom, you spot a humble little 1991 D penny. You think, just another penny, and toss it aside. But what if I told you that one of those pennies is worth a jaw-dropping $2.8 million? That's right. A single, regular-looking, everyday penny could be hiding a fortune in plain sight. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny? $2.8 million. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into this insane coin, why it's worth so much, and most importantly, how you can check your own pennies to see if you're sitting on a jackpot. And hey, if you love coins that could make you rich, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on the next big find. All right, first things first, what makes the 1991 D. Lincoln penny so special? Why on earth would anyone pay nearly $3 million for a coin that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the sidewalk? This isn't just any 1991 D penny. This rare one has a major minting error, one so bizarre and unusual that it has coin collectors losing their minds. The coin in question was struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard copper-plated zinc used in 1991. Now, if you're new to coin collecting, that might not sound like a big deal. But let me tell you, when the US Mint accidentally uses the wrong metal, that's like finding a misprinted baseball card of Babe Ruth holding a hockey stick. It just doesn't happen. Back in 1991, pennies were supposed to be made from a core of zinc with a thin layer of copper on top. But somehow, a leftover bronze blank from an earlier year ended up in the Denver Mint's presses, and a one-of-a-kind, priceless penny was born. Now, let's talk money. Why would someone pay millions for this mistake? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. There's only one known example of this penny. That's right, just one. And when there's only one of something in the entire world, collectors go wild. It's like having the Mona Lisa of pennies. The person who owns this coin? They have something nobody else can ever have. That kind of exclusivity? It drives prices through the roof. If you found the last slice of pizza on Earth, you could bet someone would pay millions to get it. Because once it's gone, it's gone. All right, now for the fun part. How do you check your pennies to see if you've got this $2.8 million jackpot? It's simple. Look for a 1991 penny with a little D under the date. That means it was minted in Denver. If you don't see the D, it's not our lucky coin. But don't worry, there are still plenty of other valuable pennies out there. This is the big one. Regular 1991 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. But the rare bronze era penny? It weighs 3.1 grams. So, grab a small digital scale. You can get one online for cheap, and weigh your penny. If you think you have something unusual, take it to a coin expert or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm if it's the real deal. Now, let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, before I got deep into coin collecting, I found an old wheat penny in my change. It looked different, but I didn't think much of it. So what did I do? I spent it on a pack of gum. Yep, I traded what could have been a valuable collector's item for 5 minutes of minty freshness. A week later, I learned that the same kind of penny had sold for over $1,000. I nearly fell out of my chair. Since then, I check every penny I get, because you never know when a tiny copper coin could change your life. So, if you ever catch yourself thinking, it's just a penny, remember my story. Check your change. Always. All right, folks, we've covered a lot today. The legendary 1991 D. Lincoln penny, the crazy mistake that made it worth millions, and most importantly, how you can check your own pocket change for hidden treasures. Rare coins are out there. They're in your change jar, in your couch cushions, maybe even in your grandpa's old coffee can of pennies. But you'll never find them if you're not looking. So, here's my challenge to you. Go grab some pennies, check those dates, and weigh anything that looks suspicious. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune and not even realize it. And before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips on coins worth serious money. I'll be back with more stories, more strategies, and more chances to turn pocket change into a payday. Ever thought that the humble penny jingling in your pocket could be worth a fortune? Well, today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, while it might not make you an overnight millionaire, it's got a story worth every cent. First things first, let's clear up the mystery behind the no mint mark thing. In 1975, if a penny doesn't have a mint mark, it means it was minted in Philadelphia. Back then, the Philly Mint didn't stamp their coins with a P. So, if your 1975 penny is missing a mint mark, it's just a regular Philly penny. I know. Rumors fly around about certain pennies fetching astronomical prices. While it's true that some rare coins have sold for big bucks, the 1975 no mint mark penny isn't typically one of them. In fact, most of these pennies are worth, well, a penny. However, there are exceptions. If you happen to have a 1975 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one that's been graded highly by a professional service, it could be worth more. For instance, a 1975 Lincoln penny graded MS68 red by PCGS once sold for $9,000. PCGS.com, but such cases are rarer than finding a needle in a haystack. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I stumbled upon a shiny 1975 penny while cleaning out my grandma's attic. My heart raced. Could this be the jackpot? Dreams of early retirement flashed before my eyes. I rushed to a local coin appraiser, only to be told it was worth 1 cent. Turns out, while the coin was in decent shape, it wasn't the flawless specimen that collectors pay top dollar for. But hey, It was a fun adventure and a great lesson in numismatics. Coins with minting mistakes, like double dies or off-center strikes, can be valuable. For example, the 1969 double die penny is worth a pretty penny, up to $37,200. The Sun.com certain years and mint mark combinations are scarce. The 1909 SVB penny, for instance, is a collector's dream due to its low mintage. en.wikipedia.org coins in mint or uncirculated condition are more valuable. Even a common coin can fetch a higher price if it's in exceptional shape. While the 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny might not fund your next vacation, coin collecting is a hobby rich in history and surprises. So, next time you find a peculiar coin, take a closer look. Who knows? You might just discover a hidden gem. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coins and want more tips on spotting valuable currency, hit that subscribe button. Let's embark on this numismatic journey together. And remember, always check your change. Your next treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Ever wondered if that humble penny jingling in your pocket could be worth a fortune? Well, hold on to your hats, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1976 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, one of these little copper coins fetched nearly $8,000 at auction. Intrigued? Let's uncover the secrets behind this unassuming cent and see if you might have a hidden treasure lurking in your change jar. First off, let's set the scene. The year was 1976, and the United States was buzzing with bicentennial fever, celebrating 200 years of independence. While quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins got special designs to mark the occasion, the trusty penny kept its classic look. But don't let its ordinary appearance fool you. There's more to this coin than meets the eye. In 1976, over 4.6 billion pennies were minted without a mint mark, primarily in Philadelphia. These coins are as common as dad jokes at a family dinner. However, what sets some of them apart is their condition. Most pennies have been through the ringer, passed from pocket to pocket, scratched, and scuffed. But a select few have remained in pristine condition, untouched by the ravages of time. All right, maybe not $1 million, but close enough to make you do a double take. A standard 1976 penny in average circulated condition is worth 1 cent surprise. But if you've got an uncirculated gem that's been hiding in a drawer for decades, things get interesting. In mint state, MS grades, especially MS 67 and above, these coins can fetch anywhere from $50 to several $1,000s. In fact, one such penny-graded MS 68RD sold for a whopping $7,931.25 in 2014. Coins. The Funty Mess Guide. Not all pennies are created equal, and color plays a significant role in determining value. Collectors categorize pennies based on their coloration, bright and shiny, as if it just left the mint. These are the most sought after. A 1976 penny with a vibrant red tone in mint state can command higher prices than its brown counterparts. Now, let's talk about the juicy stuff, error coins. These are the happy little accidents that make collectors' hearts race. When the coin design is not properly centered, depending on the degree of the error, such coins can be worth between $50 and $200. Raised bumps or lines caused by a damaged die. Major die breaks can fetch between $20 and $100. Antiquescanowhow. Some double dies, duplicated images, or text resulting from misaligned strikes. While major double dies are rare for 1976 pennies, minor ones can still be worth between $5 and $50. Antiquescanowhow. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was helping my grandmother clean out her attic when we stumbled upon an old piggy bank, heavy with coins. Amidst the sea of change, a shiny 1976 penny caught my eye. It was in remarkable condition, with a rich red luster. Curiosity piqued. I had it appraised, and to my astonishment, it was graded MS 67RD and valued at over $1,000. Not bad for a coin that had been gathering dust for decades. So, the next time you find a 1976 penny, take a closer look. While most are worth their face value, that rare uncirculated gem or error coin could be worth a pretty penny. Pun intended. Happy hunting, and may your coin jars be filled with hidden treasures. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting and want to uncover more hidden gems in your pocket change, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's discover the treasures that might be hiding in plain sight. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a penny, and realizing it's worth $1 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about the 2011 D. Lincoln penny that has taken the coin collecting world by storm. That's right, this little copper-coated beauty is fetching a jaw-dropping $1 million. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was sorting through my pocket change like I always do. My wife thinks I'm crazy for spending hours staring at pennies, but hey, everyone needs a hobby. Anyway, I came across a 2011 D penny. At the time, I didn't think much of it. It was just another modern coin, right? Oh, how wrong I was. That's why you need to stick around, because today, I'm going to tell you exactly what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why it's breaking records in the coin collecting world. You don't want to miss this. First things first, what makes this 2011 D. Lincoln penny worth $1 million? We all know most pennies are, well, just pennies. They get lost in couch cushions, stuck in car cup holders, and sometimes even chewed on by toddlers. Don't ask. But every once in a while, a coin comes along that turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. This particular penny isn't just any 2011 D. It has a rare error that collectors are going absolutely nuts for. Now, let's break this down. The 2011 D. Lincoln penny has a dramatic double die error. This means the design was accidentally stamped twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect. On this specific penny, the doubling is most visible in Lincoln's eye, his bow tie, and even some of the lettering on the coin. If you're squinting at your screen right now, don't worry, I'll explain exactly how to spot it in a second. Another key feature? The floating D mint mark. Normally, the D on a Denver minted penny is perfectly placed, but on this $1 million coin, it's slightly off-centered, almost like it's trying to make a run for it. If your penny looks like it's been sipping too much coffee and jittering out of place, you might have something special. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, but why does this make it worth $1 million? Great question. Rare errors, especially dramatic ones, are the holy grail of coin collecting. When a mistake like this slips past the US Mint and makes it into circulation, collectors will pay big bucks to get their hands on one. Add in the fact that only one known specimen has been found so far, and you've got the perfect storm for a record-breaking price. So how do you find one of these $1 million pennies? Well, first of all, don't go spending your 2011 pennies just yet. Check your change jars, your car's cup holder, even that junk drawer full of random stuff. Grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and inspect the penny closely. Look for that doubling in Lincoln's eye and bow tie. Check the mint mark. If the D looks like it's floating or off-center, you might be holding history in your hands. And if you do, well, you might want to sit down before you check the auction prices. Let me tell you, when I first heard about this penny, I almost lost my mind. I tore through my collection, flipping over every 2011 D I could find. My wife walked in and saw me knee-deep in pennies, muttering to myself like a mad scientist. She asked if I was okay, and I just held up a handful of pennies and said, "I'm looking for $1 million." She shook her head, walked away, and mumbled, "I married a lunatic." That's the life of a coin collector. We live for these moments, the thrill of the hunt, the possibility of finding treasure in the most unexpected places. So, what's the takeaway here? Simple. Check your change. That 2011 D penny jingling in your pocket might just be worth more than your car, maybe even your house. And if you love learning about coins that can make you rich, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more money-making coin tips coming your way. Now, go grab your change jar and start hunting. Who knows? The next millionaire could be you. You're digging through your spare change, maybe about to pay for your morning coffee, and you spot a 2005 Lincoln penny. Looks normal, right? But hold on. What if I told you that little copper coin could be worth over $1 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A 2005 penny, with no mint mark, recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's the kind of money that could pay off your mortgage, buy you a fancy sports car, or, if you're anything like me, fund a lifetime supply of coffee and a few too many late-night eBay coin purchases. So today, we're going deep into this incredible penny. How did it happen? Why is it worth so much? And most importantly, do you have one hiding in your collection? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to be checking your pockets, your couch cushions, and maybe even that old piggy bank you forgot about. Now, most pennies are, Well, pennies. You find them everywhere, on the ground, under your car seat, stuck in that mysterious abyss between your washing machine and the wall. But this particular penny? It's in a league of its own. In 2005, the US Mint cranked out billions of pennies. But something weird happened. At least one penny slipped through the system without a mint mark and with a major die error that collectors absolutely love. See, normally, pennies from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, while Denver ones have a little D, and San Francisco proofs have an S. But this one was struck with a rare die variation that made it a true one-of-a-kind piece. What makes this penny so valuable? All right, let's break it down. What turned this ordinary-looking coin into a seven-figure jackpot? Experts believe this penny was struck with an experimental die, leading to subtle but crucial differences in its design. A missing mint mark in this case isn't just an oversight, it's a game-changer. This bad boy was graded at MS69 red, which is basically like finding a classic car that's never been driven. Coins that are nearly flawless skyrocket in value. Collector demand. Coin collectors go absolutely wild for unique errors, and when word got out that this 2005 no mint mark penny existed, the bidding wars started. And then, boom. At an auction, a deep-pocketed collector dropped $1.1 million to claim it. Talk about turning pocket change into life-changing money. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was just like any other casual collector, sorting through pennies, hoping to find something cool, but never really expecting anything big. One day, I was at a flea market, and this guy had a whole jar of old pennies. He wanted $5 for the whole thing. I figured, why not? I took it home, poured it out on my desk, and started digging. A few wheat pennies, some decent finds, but nothing crazy. Then, weeks later, I came across an odd-looking penny from the 1990s with a weird doubling effect. Turns out, it was a major double die variety, worth a few $100. Not exactly $1 million, but it was enough to make me realize something. There's real money hiding in everyday coins, and that's why I always say never underestimate the power of pocket change. Check for a missing mint mark, examine it closely for any oddities, like doubling, strange strikes, or off-center details. Step 4. If it looks suspiciously unique, get it graded. A professional coin grading service can confirm if you've hit the jackpot. And hey, if you don't have this specific penny, don't get discouraged. There are still tons of valuable pennies out there. 1955 double die, 1972 double die, 1983 DDR, you name it. The world of rare coins is full of surprises. So there you have it. A simple 2005 penny, worth over $1 million. Who would have thought, right? It just goes to show that treasure isn't always buried deep. It might just be sitting in your pocket. Go check your pennies right now. Seriously. And if you find anything interesting, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. And of course, if you love learning about coins worth big money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more coin hunting tips, valuable finds, and collecting strategies coming your way. You go to buy a cup of coffee, hand the cashier a handful of change, and later realize you just gave away a penny worth $1.2 million. Yep, that's the kind of story that keeps coin collectors up at night, sweating bullets. Today, we're diving into the 1985 D-Lincoln penny. A coin that was just another pocket change warrior until someone discovered a jaw-dropping error that made it worth a fortune. This little copper beauty could be hiding in your couch, your car's cup holder, or that random junk drawer we all have. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and maybe, just maybe, you'll strike it rich. Let me start with a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, one of those places where you can find everything from vintage records to someone's grandma's collection of ceramic cats. As usual, I was digging through a bin of old coins, hoping to find a hidden gem. An older guy next to me chuckled and said, "Son, people don't realize the money they throw away." I smiled and nodded, but little did I know he was 100% right. Fast forward to today, and here we are talking about a single 1985 D penny that sold for $1.2 million. Can you imagine? That's enough to buy a house, a couple of luxury cars, or approximately 240 million gumballs from those old vending machines. So what makes this penny worth more than a brand new Ferrari? Let's break it down. First, the basics. The 1985 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Most of them are just regular old pennies made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. Nothing fancy, right? But here's where things get interesting. The $1 million penny in question had a rare, mind-blowing error, something that slipped past the mint's quality control. This particular coin was struck on a copper planchet meant for a 1960s penny instead of the correct zinc-coated planchet used in 1985. That's like accidentally printing a 1985 newspaper on parchment from the 1700s. Someone at the mint must have had one job and seriously dropped the ball. Collectors go nuts for these mistakes because they shouldn't exist. In fact, only one of these has been confirmed, making it a true unicorn in the coin world. But wait, how do you know if you've got one? First, check the date and mint mark. If you've got a 1985 D, grab a magnet. If it sticks, sorry, you've got a regular penny. If it doesn't, you might be in business. The weight should also be slightly different, 3.11 grams instead of the usual 2.5 grams of the modern zinc pennies. A jeweler's scale can help you out here. Now, let's talk about value. If your penny matches the criteria, do not, I repeat, do not spend it on a vending machine snack. Instead, take it to a reputable coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professionally graded error coin can fetch life-changing money. And remember, condition matters. The better the shape, the bigger the payday. So, let's recap. The 1985 D penny you might have sitting in your pocket could be worth a fortune if it has that rare copper planchet error. It's one of those once-in-a-lifetime finds that turns an ordinary day into a legendary one. Now, before you run off to dump your change jar on the table, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more videos on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and tips that could help you turn pocket change into serious cash. Who knows, maybe the next big discovery is sitting right under your nose.